هنداش's channel بما انه هنداش بعد جديد على اليوتيوب and بعد جديد على الانترو.
Yeah, صرنا ساعة يعني we're trying to do the intro and we can't. I can't, she can.
I can.
She will.
So أنا حأعمل intro yeah. So hello to هنداش's channel. بهذا الفيديو حيعملكم هنداش علي أنا this beautiful look اللي هو signature look. خبرنا عن signature
It's
look.
تقريبا my go-to look, but I change a few things. يعني you change a bit of the eyeshadow, but دائما there's a focus on the eyeliner and the lashes and nude lips. لازم nude lips.
Signature thing على هنداش هي nude perfect drawn lips.
Nude lips, contour, but very clean contour. Nothing messy, nothing.
Invisible contour.
على الخفيف, but it really brings out your features and makes you look sculpted,
yeah.
flawless.
So إذا حابين تعرفوا كيف أعمل هنداش علي هذا perfect look, just keep watching.
Keep watching, and hopefully we'll be doing more collaborations, more fun ones.
And challenges.
Stay tuned and get ready.
يلا.
Alright, so I'm going to start by using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the shade number 6, and I'm going to be blending it with a damp beauty blender. I'm going to be taking it down her neck as well to make sure I have an even application all over. Next, I'm taking the Kevin Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer in the shade number 6, and I'm using it as concealer under her eyes. For this concealer, I really like to use it with my fingers because I find that the warmth of my fingers and my hands really helps to break it down and blend it evenly. I'm going to take it on her chin and to hide any imperfections as well. Before I set everything with the RCMA No Color Powder, I like to tap the eyes one last time just to get rid of any creasing before I lock it in, because once you put that powder, then that's it. So you don't want any creasing beforehand. Next, I'm taking the Charlotte Tilbury Ice to Mesmerize, and this is a cream eyeshadow, and you can use that as a base. And it is in the shade Jean, which is a very champagne, goldy pink color. For the eyeshadows, I'm going to be using all Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and the first shade is in the shade Mirage, and it is a nude color. And I'm applying that using a Makeup Forever 218 brush. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade Peach Smoothie, and I'm going to be using that with a crease brush, and this is the Makeup Forever 242 brush, and I'm blending it through the crease. This color is a great transition shade or to really warm up the crease because it doesn't show up much when you swatch it, but when you put it on the eyelids, it's really nice. Then to warm up the outer corner, I'm using the shade Cocoa Bear, and I'm gonna apply that with a Makeup Forever 212 brush, which is a pencil brush, and really work that in creating a V shape actually. And then I'm taking the Sigma brush to blend it in, and this is a very tapered small brush, and it is the E36. Next, I'm going to go back into the shade Peach Smoothie using a Makeup Forever 218 brush and really blend that Cocoa Bear color again. So blending the peach with the warm brown to make sure everything looks great. Once you're done blending, I'm going to take a dark brown eyeshadow, and this is called Americano, and I'm going to use the pencil brush again to darken that outer V. With eyeshadows, I really like to work in thin layers and build it up, that way you get a really smooth application. And in between each shade, I like to go back into that Peach Smoothie shade again and blend everything out. So blend the edges, make sure they look seamless. And it's always back and forth. So I go back into that dark brown shade, which is Americano, and I darken the crease again after I've done blending so that I don't lose the intensity of the shade. Then with the pencil brush again, I take the black shade, which is a matte black, and it's called Corrupt. And I'm gonna darken the lash line with it as well. Next, I'm going to take the shade Grandstand, which is a foiled eyeshadow, and I'm using a Makeup Forever 228 brush, and it is a flat brush, to really pack that color on. I'm putting it in the center of the eyelid, and then I'm going to take the shade Starry Eyed, which is another foiled eyeshadow, and I'm using the same brush, putting it on the center of the eyelid and on the inner corner as well. Next, I'm taking the shade Americano again, and I'm using a Sigma pencil brush, which is the E30, and I'm putting it in her lower lash line. And I'm gonna blend that in with Cocoa Bear as well. Then I'm taking the matte black again and darkening the outer corner once again after I've done all that blending. Next, I'm going to use eyeliner, and I'm using the Tom Ford Eye Defining Pen in the shade number 1 Deeper. And I'm going to create a thin wing. Actually, it's not really a thin wing, but it's quite sharp and elongated. And taking that all the way down to her inner corner, but keeping it very, very thin. Next, I'm going to use the Sigma E36 brush again and taking the shade Cocoa Bear. And what I like to do is really sort of press down the brush and get that nice cut crease, but we're not going for a complete cut crease, we're just blending everything out. Then I take the shade Mirage, which is the light one, and putting that under her brow bone for the finishing touch. For eyebrows, I'm going to brush her brows up with a spoolie, and this is in Anastasia eyebrow brush, I think. And then I'm taking the Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Medium Brown, and I'm going to very, very lightly start building up product in her brows, because she has amazing brows, and I'm just filling in the gaps. I always like to start at the tail of the brow because that's where I like the most color to be, and then diffuse everything once I get closer to the beginning of her brows. And it's always good to brush them up between strokes as you blend everything out. When I'm pretty much done with eyes, I like to dust off the bake, and I'm using the Makeup Forever 128 brush, which is an amazing brush. Next, I'm taking the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting palette, and I'm using the contour shade, and this is the number 20 palette. And I really like this shade because it's on the gray side and on the cool side. So I like that as my initial contour, and then I like to build powders on top of it. Next, I'm using the Makeup Geek contour powders and the cool shade, which is Infidelity, mixing it with the warmer shade, which is called Complicated. So I'm using it with Maya's Glossy Makeup Brush collaboration, and I'm blending that out into her cheekbones. Next, I'm taking a Sigma diffused crease brush, which is the E38, and I'm doing her nose contour with the same shades. And when it comes to nose contouring, I really like to contour underneath the nose and then across the nose to give it a smaller tip and make it appear more lifted. And I'm taking a little bit of powder underneath her lip as well for more definition. Next, I'm taking the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm taking the yellow powder, which is the highlight shade, in Lyric, and this is an amazing matte yellow highlighter. And what I like to bake with and highlight with is the Glossy Makeup blending sponge, and it has a flat edge which makes it perfect for doing that precisely. Next, I'm taking the Balm's Frat Boy, which is an amazing peach blush, and I'm putting that on her cheeks using the Makeup Forever 150 brush, which is an angled fluffy brush. And I'm dusting a little bit of that on top of her nose for some warmth. Next, I'm taking the Balm's Manizer Sisters palette, which is a highlighter palette, and I'm using the shade Mary Luminizer, which is one of my favorite highlighters. And I'm putting that underneath her eyebrows using that 218 brush again. And using that same small brush, I'm putting that on the bridge of her nose, on the tip of her nose, on her cupid's bow, and on her chin. Next, I'm dusting off whatever is left of that Kat Von D highlighter using a Makeup Forever 132 brush. And at the same time, I'm blending in the contour and the blush. Now I'm taking the Mary Luminizer highlight again using a Sigma tapered highlighter brush in F35. And I'm going on top of her cheekbones and back on top of her nose, cupid's bow, and chin. Next, I'm taking the Huda Beauty lashes in Jade, and I'm using that with the Glossy Makeup Lash On lash glue in the shade Midnight Black. I'm taking the Makeup Forever Aqua Lip lip liner in the shade 3C, and I think these are one of the best lip liners on the market. And I'm just going over her lip line and not really overdrawing anything because I don't think she needs it and she has great lips. And as I do that, I'm gonna fill it in, not all the way because I'm using a liquid lipstick on top of that, but just enough to have an even coverage. Next, I'm taking the Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lipsticks, which are one of my favorite lipsticks. And I'm taking the shade I'm Nude, which is the lighter one, and Celebrity Skin, which is the slightly darker one. And I'm going to be creating a mix. So using Celebrity Skin to fill in her entire lip with a Makeup Forever, this brush is 300. And applying a very thin layer. I think that's the key to working with liquid lipsticks because they can crack really easily. To highlight, I'm taking that same brush and dipping into the I'm Nude shade, which is kind of like a concealer color, but it has more pink tones to it. So it's amazing to creating a 3D fuller lip. Because with liquid lipsticks, you tend to get that really flat finish that can sometimes be unflattering. For mascara, I'm taking my now #1 mascara, and I'm really liking this. It is the Makeup Forever Excessive Lash, and the brush is very thin, but it really builds up layers, and you can work with it easily. It doesn't clump up, which is always a bonus. To finish off the look, I'm taking the Makeup Forever Mist and Fix, and this is a setting spray to get rid of any powdered look basically. So hope you guys enjoyed watching, stay tuned and subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.